Hey everybody, so this is going to be a video going over section 1, 2, day 1. Just as a reminder, these first couple sections within chapter 1 are all about solving equations. We did section 1, 1 yesterday, some introductory one-step equations, and then we're going to spend 3 days in section 1, 2. So the first thing I'd like you to do, if you have not already done so, please open up your binders, get out the homework keys, and start to check your answers. And here is the warm up for today too. So also pause, and maybe somebody can have their screen up while this is while you're working on your warm up. So do these. Oops, and I'm noticing right now, like this should say 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. I can count. I'm good with numbers. So do these 4 problems and check your homework. For the questions for the homework, if you have questions, save them for tomorrow, and I hopefully can answer them then. So I'm going to keep moving on, but pause this video so that you can do these 4 problems. All right, so for number 1 here, I see multiplication, so I need to do division to undo it. So I divide by 4 to both sides, and I get x is equal to 5. Remember that you can always check your answers by plugging it back in. I would have taken 4 times 5, that does equal 20. Here for number 2, I see subtraction, so I undo it with addition, excuse me. So I add 7 to both sides. So x is equal to 22. Make sure it works. 22 minus 7, does that equal 15? Yep. Number 3 here, I have addition, so I'm going to undo it with subtraction. So we have a is equal to negative 2. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Don't trust yourself, plug it back in. Negative 2 plus 6, that does equal 4. And then our last one, 9 is equal to 1.5x. Remember that's multiplication in there, so I divide by 1.5 to each side. And get out my calculator. 9 divided by 1.5 is 6. Is equal to x. So here's my solutions. All right, so if you have any questions about those, maybe ask a buddy around that got those right. And yeah, I'm just going to keep moving on. If you have any questions about the homework assignment, if you didn't understand something from the key, I'll be available tomorrow that you can ask me some questions. All right, so everybody get your guided notes out. We're going to start here. If you haven't got the guided notes already, make sure you pick that up from the sub. But here we get going. So again, we talked about how we're going to spread out section 1, 2 into 3 days. The first day, the book kind of buzzes through solving 2-step equations. So what we decided to do is just do a whole day on 2-step equations. Okay, so to solve 2-step equations or even multi-step equations, when solving an equation with more than one step, so 2 steps or more. And that's really what they kind of buzz through. They do 2-step. They don't even do hardly any 2-step problems. They just go right into 3 and 4-step problems. When solving an equation with more than one step, you must work backward using order of operations. That's really important here. That when you see an equation, and let me show you this example that we have. 2x minus 3 is equal to 11. When you see an equation, you see this expression 2x minus 3. Order of operation would say PE, MD, and AS, right? So what I'm going to really do is go reverse order of operations. I'm going to start by getting rid of all of my addition and subtraction. And once all that has gone away, I then move to my multiplication and division. And that's really what we're going to stick with today. So we undo all the addition, subtraction, and then all the multiplication and division. So for example here, I've got this 2x minus 3. I see the subtraction that I need to get away first. Remember, reverse order of operations. Got to remove all of my addition and subtraction first. So this minus 3, I add 3 to both sides. What's left over? The 2x gets dropped down. Remember, bring down everything that you don't use. 2x gets dropped down. The 3 cancels out on this side. And then we're going to have 11 plus 3 is 14. So we have this equation 2x is equal to 14. Now, to finish this off, this is a simple 1-step problem. I divide by 2 to both sides, and I get x equals 7. Remember that you can always plug that back in to see, if you're second guessing yourself, you can plug it back in. So 2 times 7 minus 3, is that truly 11? Well, 2 times 7 is 14. Minus 3, is 11. That checks out. So I know that 7 is indeed my solution. Okay. All right, so the rest of the notes is just examples. We just have 7 examples to do. So if you would like to, at any point in time, pause the video and try a problem on your own, I would strongly encourage you to do that. So if you want to pause the video and try this on your own and then play it to see me walk through it, go for it. If you want to just watch a couple and copy down as we go, that's totally fine as well. So I've got 18 is equal to 4a plus 10. So order of operations, reverse order of operations says I need to get rid of this plus 10 first. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. Remember, always write out inverse operation, big horizontal line, 18 minus 10 is 8. And then bring down what we don't use, what we did not use. The 10s cancel, right? And now, so it's 8 is equal to 4a. I divide by 4 to both sides. And that gives me 8 divided by 4 is 2 is equal to a. Remember that you can always check your solution by plugging it back in. So 18 is equal to 4 times 2 plus 10. And that does check out. 18 is equal to 8 plus 10. 18 checks out. So I know that, yeah, a equals 2 is my solution. Let's go look at our next one. 5t minus 2 is equal to negative 32. All right, so again, remove all of the addition and subtraction. I see subtraction right here. And to undo that, I do some addition. Add down, I've got 5t left over on the left side. Negative 32 plus 2 is a negative 30. I get rid of the 5 next to the t by dividing it over to the other side. So t is equal to negative 6. Let's take a look at our next one. Negative 4 minus 7x is equal to 3. Now, you may be tempted to say a plus because of this negative sign, this minus sign in the middle. You're right that you would say that you add over the 4 to the other side, but the reason you add 4 is because the 4 is negative. Okay, you always look directly to the left of the term that you're trying to move over. So because the 4 is negative, I add 4 over to the other side, which gets me negative 7x is equal to 7. Now, do you see how I dropped down the whole negative 7? Be careful with that. Keep the sign directly to the left of the term that you're dropping down. Remember when we were combining like terms and we always kept the sign directly to the left of the term? Same thing here. That 7 has to get dropped down and you have to bring the negative along with it. Because now when I divide over, I want to divide by negative 7, not a positive 7. And that gets me x is equal to negative 1. Don't trust me? Plug it back in. Negative 4 minus 7 times negative 1 is equal to 3. Let's check it. Negative 4. Now, negative 7 times negative 1 is a positive 7. Is that equal to 3? Yep, that checks out. Okay. Next problem here. N over 7 plus 2 is 6. All right, so again, get the addition and subtraction out of the way. So I got to remove this addition first. To undo it, I subtract. So we get n over 7. Leave that. Bring that straight down. Don't make it change at all. 6 minus 2 is 4. I have n over 7, so I'm multiplying by 7 to both sides. And then that means n is equal to 28. Again, you can always check your answer. 28 over 7 plus 2. Is that really 6? Well, 28 over 7 is 4. Plus 2, yeah, that's 6. That checks out. Again, at this point, I would encourage you to try to pause and try some of these problems on your own and see if you can get them right. Okay, so now I see a little bit of simplification that I can do. What does that mean? That means that I have some distributive property that I can do before I start solving. So whenever you have something that you can simplify on either side, that's what you want to do first. So the first step here is to simplify, then use reverse order operations to solve. So I've got this 4 times x minus 2. That would give us a 4x minus 8 is equal to 40. And now we can start solving. See, you notice how I just simplified the left side and now I start solving? Now I start doing some inverse operations. and that's going to give me 4x is equal to 48. I divide by 4 to each side, so x is 12. Let's check it. 4 times 12 minus 2, is that truly 40? Well, 12 minus 2 is 10, so 4 times 10 is indeed 40. That checks out. Okay, 2 more problems here. I see this 3 that I have to distribute in first. Distribute the 3. That'll get us a 3x minus 27. Now I start to solve. I see the minus 27 here, so I'm going to add that 27 over to the other side. So 3x is equal to 57. And then I finish this problem off by dividing by 3. And let's see what that is. 57 divided by 3 is 19. There's my solution. Okay? And our last one. Now the last one is a little tricky because I see a negative 2 on the outside of the parentheses. When I have that, remember what happens to the things on the inside when I distribute. Everything turns to the opposite sign. So this positive 3 becomes a negative, and then 2 times 3 is 6. This negative d, negative times a negative, turns into a positive 2d. Negative 2 times 3 becomes a negative 6. Negative 2 times negative d is equal to positive 2d. It is equal to 4. And now I can start solving. Be careful here. You may be tempted to say you want to subtract over to the other side, but remember that you look directly to the left of the term. So if I want to move this 6 over to the other side, I have to add it to both sides. Okay? Add it to both sides because the 6 was negative. I've got to add it over to the right side. So 2d is equal to 10, and I divide by 2. So d is equal to 5. Let's check our answer one more time. Negative 2, 3 minus 5 is equal to 4. Let's see. Well, 3 minus 5 is negative 2, and negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. That checks out. I know for sure that I've gotten my answer correct. D is equal to 5. Okay, so again, if you haven't already, make sure you get the worksheet from Mrs. Naupoltz or whoever the sub is. Make sure that you are working on that for the rest of the period. It is a little bit lengthy, but the guided notes were rather small, so you should have plenty of time to work on it in class. I'm expecting everybody to have a lot of it done because you're going to have so much in class time to work on it. So go ahead and get to work, and we'll go over all those questions tomorrow. All right, have a good day, everybody.